Good afternoon. My name is John Jensen. I'd like to speak to you guys today about the beauty and sort of awe-inspiring nature of aviation. It's kind of super important, like imperative, to understand that the field of aviation is exclusive only by reputation. For the cost of one semester in college at any state school, you can get your private pilot license and probably put a solid dent into your instrument rating or what have you. That information is cited from www.collegedata.com. But it's important to understand that you can do this. 1 year at a state school can cost as much as $33,000. And for that amount, you can, without a doubt, get your private pilot license and probably get your instrument rating nonetheless with it. There's a handful of main points that I'd really like to make in this speech, and the first one being passion and experience. Now, as stated from pilotinternational.org, the pilot's principles are friendship and service, and their motto is true course ever, which is sort of just a goofy play on words, but it means a lot. To hold true course means that you're doing your job well as a pilot. Now, piloting has long since operated on a nexus of passion, sort of passion-driven pursuits, love, and just joy, and the enjoyment of the field in and of itself. That nexus exists within every pilot that has ever pursued piloting. I mean, point blank zero. People do it because they love it, and people continue doing it because they love it. There's an old saying, it goes, or rather, why do new pilots today make so little money? And it's because they would do it for free. And that holds so much truth, it's kind of a little unsettling. The second point that I want to make is that flight has this sort of innate ability to inspire awe in people. Now, in a book that I read called The Wright Brothers by David McClough, there's a couple of things that are really brought forward, and that is the incredible feelings that the Wright brothers and those that surrounded them felt when they finally left the ground. There's also a lot of art in flight. If you look at things like aerobatics, being able to fly an airplane with such incredible precision, or just the design of the airplane itself. You look at some of the newer airplanes and they are genuinely beautiful. And you hear that all the way across the aviation community. People are obsessed with some aircraft. Now, the main point for this speech today is numbers. Aviation is all about numbers. The field is driven by metrics. Now, like, say the numbers for how long an aircraft has been in service, how long it's been flying for. That would be your total time. Or the amount of time that remains before you need to go in for a major maintenance, your time since overhaul. Or kind of things like the equations for how stressed out a pilot is, so how many hours of sleep you got and how many hours it's been since you ate your last meal. That all comes down to numbers, and if you can work that into an equation to be safe to fly. The most important number in aviation is a pilot's total time. Now, that is augmented through what's called a logbook. You keep a pilot's logbook from the day that you do your first flight of training, and all the way through you keep track. So that looks like this. Each one of those numbers represents very literally my skill as a pilot. Now, those numbers are recorded all the way through. Some people stop recording after about 5,000 hours because at that point there's a whole bunch that you really need to take care of. Other people have logged straight through 30 or 40,000 hours throughout their career for the sake of kind of being able to keep track of it all. So the numbers in this book are a direct representation of how good a pilot I am and how much training I have and how skilled I've become throughout that training. The numbers in this book are essential to tracking and augmenting the safety of the aviation community. Moreover, the safe pursuit of commercial endeavors. Pilots are required to have either 1,000 or 1,500 hours of recorded flight time and training before they are allowed to enter the cockpit of a commercial flight. That is obviously for the safety of the pilots, safety of all of the guests on the airplane, the patrons that partake there, and for the safety of the investment that the airline has made in that aircraft. Airplanes are not cheap. Even just a small Cessna 172, like what we fly out at University of North Dakota, is like $500,000 or more, depending on what you want to outfit it with. So numbers are king in aviation. And moreover, in conclusion, I do really want to reiterate that I derive pleasure from flight. I thoroughly enjoy flying and learning more about aviation, and every second of it I enjoy. But it's also imperative that we understand that pilots are based sort of out of the principle of recurring training. Now, recurrent training comes down to refilling this book to ensure that you're still safe to fly the airplane. So, anyone can do this. You, me, your mom, your dad, your little brother, your little sister. You can start your training at 16 years old. You, me, anybody can do this. You can start your training when you're 15 years old, so your little brother could start tomorrow. By the time that you're 16, you can be a private pilot. So that is all based around the numbers listed in this book. If you start at 16 and you have 1,100 hours by the time you're 21, you can do this if you start tomorrow. Pursue the dream and follow the passion that ensues thereof. And don't let anybody tell you that it's too expensive or that you couldn't be a pilot. Men, women, young adults, even some people you might consider children are pilots out there. You're capable, you're able, and all it takes is a good list of numbers for you to make it through. Thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate your time today. This has been my visual aid informative speech. Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming by. Take it easy, and thank you.
There I found you multi-constellation. There isn't